There's a lot of culture here in the Mountain South. Throughout the year, these mountains come alive with music, theater, festivals, and quite a collection of handmade crafts.
There's also a little-known art form here in the Mountain South that I'll bet some of you aren't aware of.
Ooh, and the suspense mounts.
Doesn't it? Hey, wait, you should take your hat off.
Why?
Because we're going into church.
Oh, yeah.
The oldest known works of art took place around 17,000 years ago when man first started doing cave paintings on limestone. And then, during the medieval and Renaissance periods, this art form was refined and the finished work became known as a fresco. Right now we're in St. Paul's Episcopal Church in Wilkesboro, North Carolina. There's two frescoes here. One depicts the conversion of St. Paul the Apostle on the road to Damascus, and the other depicts Paul in prison.
A fresco is the art of painting water-suspended earth pigments onto a wet lime plaster surface. The artist first sketches a full-size drawing, called a cartoon, of the figures that will appear in the painting. The cartoon is then fixed to the wall or ceiling, and the outlines of the figures are transferred to the wet plaster. The artist then paints in the figures, working quickly before the plaster dries. The colors are absorbed by the wet plaster, and when it dries and hardens, the colors become one with the plaster.
Most, but not all frescoes depict a biblical moment in time. Now, when most people think of a fresco, they immediately think of Italy and Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper or Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel. But today, thanks to the efforts of one man, you can see frescoes all over Western North Carolina. There are only 4 master fresco artists in the world, and only 1 in the United States. His name? Benjamin F. Long IV. Ben Long was reared in a family of artists, writers, professors, and university presidents. At 18, he followed in his father's footsteps to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. After completing his university coursework, Long moved to New York to immerse himself in the study of fine art. Long's apprenticeship culminated in 1976 when he was awarded the prestigious Leonardo da Vinci International Art Award. Way to go, Ben.
This is the Municipal Auditorium in Morganton, North Carolina. It's also where Ben Long's largest fresco exists. Painted on the ceiling in the atrium is a work where the artist depicts the 9 muses of Greek mythology. He chose this subject because of their legendary role in inspiring all human endeavors in the arts and sciences.
We recently visited Cross North School in Avery County, North Carolina. It's a school for children who are neglected, abandoned, orphaned, or abused. In the Sloop Chapel, we found a Ben Long fresco entitled "Suffer the Little Children."
There's some incredible nuances in the work behind me. If you look very carefully, you will see that there is a special light from the face of Jesus, and it's actually lighting up the face of the children. And if you even look a little more closely, you'll notice that the adults, they are in the dark, like most of us adults. What a treasure here in the mountains. This ancient art of fresco just a short drive away to see close up and personal. From the Renaissance masters, from Michelangelo of the past to the Ben Long of today, just around the corner.
Today, Ben Long's frescoes can be seen in churches and public buildings all around North Carolina. To find the locations of all these magnificent paintings, simply go to benlongfrescotrail.com.
And these paintings seem to somehow emit their own light, and once you see one, you want to see them all. And they're all right here in the Mountain South.
Well, I wish I could paint like that.
But you're afraid of heights.
No, I'd just paint mine on the floor. What?